Hi everyone, Yap here. So welcome to the lab 3 for the AWS migration. So in our previous lesson, we are waiting for the replication to be complete, and you can see the replication has been finished and it's an agents based type, right? It takes some time, right? So you can see here it's ready for testing, it's healthy, right? So our next step will be to launch test instance, right? From the replica we stated here, right? This is the replication server created, alright? So you can treat this as a replica lah, right? So let's go back to the diagram. Okay, so basically we are at this point, right? Replication completed. Next we will launch a test instance, which will then create a snapshot, and then we'll launch the test instance using the launch template, right? So let's understand actually what is the replication template and the launch template first before we go moving forward into it, right? So let's go here. Alright. You can find all the setting at here. So we have replication template and launch template. So replication template, as I mentioned earlier, when actually your on-prem server replicate over to AWS, you will have a replication server which get all the configuration similar to replication template. So replication template is actually a template for you to create a replication server which act as a replica, right? So how about for the launch template? Okay, so if you see from here, replication template, you can specify the instance type, the subnet, and then the volumes, right? Not much. And then the security group, remember, you are using the port 1500 to actually migrate from on-prem to AWS, right? You can see here, security, okay, port 1500, right? So for the launch template is actually from your replication server, you will use the launch template to launch a test instance, as I mentioned here. So from the replication server, you will use the launch template and then to launch a test instance. So the test instance, the test instance configuration is based on the launch template, okay? But what you see from here, the launch template, what you can customize is quite limited over here. So you can see the general launch setting. This one can instance type right sizing, which will size your instance based on your replication server. This one you can actually not really this one is like the general thing lah. You want to focus on this default EC2 launch template. So what you can customize only like the instance type and the EBS volume, which is quite limited lah, right? So if let's say I want to let's say put some key pair in my instance, how should I do, right? So to do this, to actually customize more on the launch template, you can go to your source server, alright, and this is the source server name. So from the MGN, you go to launch setting, right? So you can see here there's a general launch setting, as we see inside the general setting there, and then you have the EC2 launch template. So this launch template actually is mapped back to the default launch template over here, right? So if you want to actually customize more on this, because every EC2 instance we replicate over may not be using the same launch template, so you can modify over here, and then it will actually create a new version. Just click modify, and then let's say this version you want to save Windows 2012 MGN 1. This is just a template version name lah. You can just give any name you want. Alright, so we can manually select the instance type. If you don't want T2 micro, you want maybe T2 medium, everything you can set here, right? So for the sake of the lab, I will just use maybe T2 small lah, right? So the key pair, yeah, you can actually assign the key pair over here, right? So in order to log in, I will just use the PAM key pair, right, in order to generate the password later on, right? Actually, if you not familiar with this, you can just create a new key pair, then remember, type some name, and then use the PAM key pair, right? Just like that. This one later on will show you what is what it do during the Windows is launched, right? So after this, you go to the subnet. Okay, subnet is correct, and then security group. Yeah, you can just I already create a security group here to allow all traffic. Alright, so if you're not familiar, I'll just walk you through very fast. Okay, you can just go to security group. It's actually a firewall lah. You can refer back to my basic the basic YouTube video, right? I just allow all traffic lah. So this one is quite important, the network configuration. You need to enable the auto assign public IP, so that you auto assign public IP to your test instance, or maybe the final instance later on, right? Because they are using this launch template, right? EBS, correct. Okay, everything just leave it as default. So remember, I select t2.small, so I create the template version. Okay, then you can view the launch template, right? So you can see this is our launch template, right? Because we are just created, right? So we go here, and then the default version still version 2, which is T2 micro. You need to change to version 3, T2.small, which we created just now, and then the description is Windows MGN, right? So to do this, you need to go to action, set default version, then you select number 3, set as default version. Okay, let's go. So this will be the default version. Let's go back here. Okay, so this is the source server, and then you go to the launch setting and verify again whether is the default version or not, the version 3. So the version 3 just now we do is t2.small, right? So actually it have inherit the launch setting for version 3, right? So after you have done this, you can actually launch the test instance. So let's go back here. Okay, so basically we have do some tweaking in the launch template in MGN just now, right? Version 3 t2.small. So now you launch the test instance, you will create snapshot, then follow this launch template, and then we'll come out the test Windows server. This conversion server actually is m4.large server. It will actually convert from the source from on-prem to AWS format lah. This is you can't control what is the size or anything. You will just automatically prompt using the MGN, right? So let's go and launch the test instance. Okay, ready for testing. Okay, launch test instance. Okay, launch. So test in progress, and you can actually see the job over here, right? You will start taking snapshot. Let's go back and see the snapshot. Okay, so basically previously we have 2 snapshot. Now it take another 1 snapshot, right? So this I think may take some time as well, so I will skip this part. Okay, so it have take some time to take the snapshot, right? So basically now the snapshot is already completed, right? So after done taking a snapshot, it will do the conversion. So you see conversion started. So let's go back here, EC2, and you can see two instances running. One is the replication server, which is the replica, and the conversion server you see is a m4.large. So basically this conversion server is try to convert from our on-prem VM into an AWS format VM, right? So conversion server, you see here, actually you can't access much. It's just internal MGN things, right? So let us wait for the conversion. Okay, so now you can see the migration server is being terminated, and then the new EC2 instance, the test instance, is being launched now, right? So now it's being to launch the test instance, which we are at. The snapshot done already. This one launch template done. This conversion server is started up, and then it have created this, and then it will be terminated, right? So let's just wait. Okay, so we have successfully launched the test instance, right? Let's go back and see. Okay, so as you can see, it's a t2.small, right? Not t2.micro. t2.micro is the replication template. This is the launch template, right? So you can see you have a public address and a private address, right? So just to show you the security, the all traffic is actually I allow for all the port range, and then from the source from anywhere. This one just for the sake of the lab, so don't try this if you are in the production environment, right? So if maybe later on I will do like the production environment with the bastion host, and then all this will be in the private subnet, right? That may be another time lah. Is the one you need to create your own VPN, own private subnet, own public subnet, and then you need to attach the internet gateway, which will be much more complicated than this lah. This one is just to show you how the migration works, right? So let's wait the initializing to be finished first, right? So basically this one, the launch history, if you see from here, the launch test instance is completed, and then if you check the job has already ended, right? Because it's already successfully cut over the EC2 instance to our test instance, right? So but you see from the source over here, right, it will keep on stating test in progress, right, even though the job has already ended. So the next step will be complete testing to mark ready to cut over. So you need to mark as ready to cut over, but before that you actually need to go inside this instance and go inside to this test instance and check whether everything is working smoothly. Only you go here and say mark is ready for cut over, right? So just wait for this to be finished, initialized first, right? Okay, so now you can see when I ping the public IP address, I can ping the instance public address, and then the check has passed. So now why not let's try to RDP to the instance, right? So we RDP using the 54.255.166.11, right? Okay, so let's use back our credential. And ta-da! You can actually log into the instance, right? Okay, so basically you have succeeded replicate it over to the AWS, right? So it's in the D3, right? So it's the same everything. I shall put some file inside here, right? So that you can see whether it has replicated over. But it's okay, just for the testing purpose, right? You can see the user, we have Yap here, right? Create one user. And then I think that's it. We have successfully created the test instance, right? And then basically we have at this stage, which we have launched the test instance, and then we have already tested it's working, everything is fine, right? So after you launch the test instance, right, after you check everything correct, good, then you can just go in here and then mark as ready for cutover, because you already checked, right? Okay, let's continue. So ready to cut over, right? So basically when you mark as ready to cut over, it will then shut down and terminate your test instance, so that you won't waste any money on the test instance, right? So I think that's it for this lab. I think it's quite a long lab, but I will just cut short lah, to skip the waiting part, right? So hope you like my video, and don't forget to subscribe my channel. And that's it for today. Bye bye.